Hello, gang, and welcome to Cab Crew Wednesday on this January 28th of 2026. Hope everybody's doing well. And I'll say hello to all the people that's in the chat so far. Rick from Rick Trains is here. Welcome, Rick. How you doing? And John from Schuylkill River Valley is here. Welcome, John. How you doing? Uh, Bob from PKW Model Works. He was here. He's going to be back a little after 8, he said. And let's see who else showed up here. Then we got Model Train Afonso, Chris. How you doing, Chris? Welcome. Glad to see you. And then Ron Renew is here. Hi, Ron. Welcome. And then we got Grandpa Rails. Hey, JD. Welcome. And there's Bob back again. Hi, Bob. Welcome. So, hope everybody's doing well. I gotta check that video out a little later. So, I hope everybody's comfortable too with this cold weather we've had. I think the temperature here is in the low teens. Yeah. So, I went to Amherst this weekend. Drove up on Friday night. Then we stayed there at with Tammy, Ray, and Dave and Artie. And then we got up on Saturday morning and we went to the train show around 11 o'clock. Low teens there, yeah. Yeah, it's computer, current temperature.
It's 11 degrees right now with a high of 20 and low of -8 for the day. There's a cold weather advisory in effect until 10 a.m. Thursday with wind chills as low as 12 below zero. So please rest warmly and limit outdoor exposure.
Yeah, it's 11 degrees right here now in New Jersey. So a little cold. But in my office, it's 71 right now. So it's been pretty cold. So then we got up, we went to the train show, and we met everybody there at the meet and greet. 10 degrees there, huh, John? Yeah. So we had a meet and greet, and a lot of people were there. And then we started walking around after the meet and greet and went to another building and stuff like that. And then it started snowing. And hard to see where you're going and everything. And on the way home from the show, I was driving up a little hill, going up the hill, and then there was a stoplight in the middle of the hill for an intersection. And of course, it turned red when I got there, so I had to stop. So now I'm stopped waiting for traffic to go by, and then the light changed green. I started out, and I got into the middle of the intersection, and it's like a little diagonal to get to the continue to go that direction. It's not like it's a regular intersection. The roads up there are wacky, and so it did this and that, and so I got in the middle of the intersection, and I couldn't go nowhere. The car wouldn't. The Renegade Jeep I was using, my Barber's Jeep, and it just wouldn't move. And I'm sitting in the middle of the intersection and the light changes and the car's trying to go around me and everything. Not so I couldn't maneuver because cars are going around. I didn't want to swing around and hit somebody. So I waited until everything was cleared out before I could maneuver around. I had the car floored and it wasn't even spinning. It wasn't even moving. So after a while, I rocked it, going reverse and forward a little bit. And I finally got around to able to get it spun around a little bit. And then instead of going up that hill, I went and I made I turned around and I didn't want to go back down the hill I came up. So I made a right hand turn and then I took the turn, we had the GPS there trying to get us the directions to Tammy's place. And what happened was I had to pick up Ray Bobel because he didn't have a car. So I drove him over. Hey, Dwight, welcome. And then I dropped him off at his hotel, and that's why I was in a different section of what normally would go. So I then turned around, got down, and started. Hey, Barbara, welcome. And then I just drove around, and then we got to Tammy's place that we were staying at, and I was the last one there, so my car was parked in. We woke up the next morning, there was 2 feet of snow, and we were all plowed in. And we got to the Sunday show, okay. But when we got there on Sunday, everything just about was gone already. Most of the people left the night before. So there was hardly anything left there in the buildings. A couple of big displays were there, a couple of vendors were there. And I wanted to get something, but I was going to wait until Sunday. I don't like to carry things laying around. So I just said, okay. So there was one vendor there. He had a big table, he had a big area, and he had tables in a big square, all filled up with boxes of trains, cars and everything. And I was looking for box cars. Hey, Artie, welcome. And so I walked around. I was looking for 2 box cars, so I needed to make them with Freds on the end for my trains. And I was looking for one that was a Pennsylvania Railroad. We asked, they had one. The guy said, I don't know what's in these boxes. It was given to us by somebody else, so they were just there selling stuff. So I finally found one. It was a 50-foot double door boxcar. I found another one that I liked, and so I got 2 of them. And everything on the table was 50% off. So they were marked as $9.95 for each car. So I got both of them for $10. So it was a pretty good deal. So, and I got to meet a lot of the people that I worked with up there, at the vendors, like Soundtracks, Azure Tracks guy, the Nick from Nick's Trains, the Decoder Buddy guy was there. And then JT from Scale Sound Systems. He's the guy that makes those really good speakers. He was there. I met him. I stopped at some of the booths, like the Athearn booths. And then Walters. I was trying to see the guy that helped me with the turntable, but he didn't make it down this year. So I talked to Walters people a little bit. Bowser and a couple of Atlas, and then I went to see the guys at TCS. I talked to them, and yeah, a lot of people left early on Saturday. They left before the snow got really bad on Saturday. And then it started getting worse as the day went on. And so we were going to leave on Sunday, but we were plowed in. We couldn't move. We had, my Jeep was the last one in the driveway. So there was about 15 feet from the back of the Jeep to the street. And that had, yeah, Sunday, yeah. And Sunday, we were supposed to leave on Sunday. And it was 2 feet of snow. And then out in the street, it was even piled up higher. So had to shovel all that out. And I only had a pair of sneakers on. And, I didn't have boots with me. So, I shoveled the snow. That way I could walk a little bit on the snow with my sneakers. And I had gloves that I brought with me. So I was okay with my hands and stuff. So I got the driveway plowed out. Then Artie went across the street and helped the lady with her driveway. So that way, when I backed out of the driveway, I backed straight out and back into her driveway that I could go in the direction I wanted to go into. So that was Monday morning when we did that, because we got back from the show and then this parked it and then this stayed in. And so that was what we did. So the show was good. It was a little strange on Sunday when you walked into a building and then the whole area was empty, completely empty. There was nothing there. It was weird to see that. So, matter of fact, the first place I went was Mallory Building. I wanted to talk to the NCE guys, and they were packing up, ready to leave. And then we walked around that building, see what we could see, and then we went into another building. I forget what that building was. And so we walked into that building, walked around there. Then we went back into Mallory, and NCE was gone. They left already. So, and not all of them, Artie. Some of the train layouts were still there. Some of the people, I guess the local people in Massachusetts stayed. I don't know who was there and who wasn't there, but some of the people, some of the layouts were still there, and some of them were just going around and unscrewing the bolts that hold the sections together. And so, that's, we got to see some of the layouts, but not many. And but it was a lot of interesting. Oh, it was 74 in South Carolina on Christmas Day. Yeah, well, yeah. So it was interesting, and it always is up there. You get to see new things and new products and all that, which is pretty interesting. I'm going to make myself big here. Okay. This guy here, he makes cork roadbed. And if anybody's interested, it needs cork, because everybody says can't get cork, and they're saying there's a cork shortage. Well, he told me that was just a bunch of BS, and he can make it. And he has rolls of cork 36 feet long. So, hey, Mike, welcome. So that's this guy. So if anybody's interested, let me know. I can give you his details if you can't read this. It's kind of hard to read a business card on the screen, but it's a craftsman. His name is Glenn Bamis, and he's got a website, www.rrcraftsman.com, and he's from New Jersey too. That was interesting. So that's what I saw there. Then this one here, this guy here, let me just see if I can get that in the screen, is he makes helixes, and they're made out of birch wood, and they all interlock together. And you just put a little glue on it, and boom, it's interlocked. And you can make different sizes and stuff like that. So if anybody's interested in making a helix, that's what this guy does. I got his card. You need that information, just email me. I'm glad to send the information to you. This guy here is what's master built models is what this guy is. And I went up to him, and he had all kinds of trucks. And I said, "Where's the garbage trucks?" And he said, "Well, the guy that makes these, they sold out the garbage trucks right away, so they didn't have any more. So he said, if you want them, just contact this guy, and he can make anything you need." So this is another one. If you need trucks or something like that, they really look nice and everything. So this guy's name is Bob Johnson. His website is masterbuiltmodels.com, and he's on eBay, stuff like that. So this other card here, I couldn't figure out what this guy did, but he makes 3D models and stuff like that. So these were just some of the places that I stopped by to talk to the people and see. And I got one new sticker from F&B, and that was nice. I'll put that up on the wall one day. Yeah, laser cut. No, they weren't. The Helix weren't. Yeah, laser cut models, 3D printed, and he you're talking about the Helixes, Chris. If the Helixes, he used birch wood, and they. I don't know how to cut them. I didn't get a chance to ask them that. So, but you always can contact them and see how they cut it and everything. But they have all different kind of other things there too. But I was real curious to see how other people make their helixes, and they had a display there, and the train was going up around and around. It was 2 tracks on the helix to get up to the top and switch over to the other track and come down the other way. So it was pretty nice. So so that was what was at the show, and couple of layouts and seeing trains run and everything was all pretty good. And Dave's here from Stormy Sky Rail Productions. Hey, Dave, welcome. So yeah, it was all pretty interesting. That's why I like to go every year, because you're always going to see something new. And we had a lot of fun up there. Everybody was real nice, and the house we stayed in was really nice, and it made it very homey, you know, without having to go to a hotel and stare at four walls and stuff like that. So that was all nice. And then when I think it was it Sunday night? Yeah, Sunday night. The people next to the house next to us was making they were playing loud music, and they must have been having a party or something. Hey Russ, welcome. How you doing? Thanks for stopping in. What was your trip to Amherst? Well, first year, well, this was the fourth year I went, so 4 years ago. So 2026, 2025, 2023, 2024. Those 4 years I've been going. This is the fourth year I've been there. So I hear this noise outside. We look out the window, and there's this guy standing up on the telephone pole. He climbed up the telephone pole. Now, he didn't go all the way to the top, but he was pretty darn close to the top. And his buddy was down there. They were giggling and carrying on. And then all of a sudden, he just jumps off of the pole into a big pile of snow that was down on the ground. You know, I said, these guys are nuts. You know, what the heck? He would have went up another. Here's what the problem was: the telephone poles in the old days used to have these things in the in the pole, and then that's how the guys used to climb up the pole. Well, they don't need to climb up the pole anymore because they have their buckets, and they just come with a truck and they get the bucket and they go up and work on the pole and stuff like that. So a lot of the newer poles don't have those things to walk on. Matter of fact, the ones around me, none of them have it on there. That's dangerous to have them on there because a kid can climb up there and go up there and touch a wire and then no more child. So kind of stupid that they still have those kind of poles around. What they should do is just take them out so that nobody can climb the pole. So I don't know. It was just strange. And then when we finally got it shoveled and everything to get out, the roads in Massachusetts were still snow covered. The road crews, I don't know what they're doing, but they didn't do a very good job. And so I was doing 40 miles an hour on an interstate highway. And some people were going a little faster than I was, but not many. There was hardly anybody on the road, and it was slow going. As soon as I got into Connecticut, which is the next state down, the roads were clear. Got into New York State, the roads were clear. Hey, Steve, welcome. How you doing? Thanks for stopping in. I got into New Jersey, the roads were clear. Okay, Massachusetts, not clear. So, and you don't know if there's any black ice or anything on the road or anything like that. You have to be careful when you're driving in the snow. So, but we made it home. Normally, it's a 4-hour drive, and it took us 5.5 hours because we stopped for lunch for about a half an hour, and it was so it was only like an hour longer than normal speed, so it wasn't too bad. And it just took a little longer with the snow and everything. But it, oh, okay, Artie. Yeah, maybe my track tires helped to melt the road. Yeah, I don't know. And then Dave, DV Tech Dave, he was going to leave shortly after I did. He had a longer drive than I did, but I hope he made it okay. I didn't hear back from him since I sent him a message. Is that me, Steve, or somebody else? Because I my wheel set stuff is I have it worked. No problem, Bob. Um, yeah, so like I said, the show was pretty good. Oh, okay, good. Washington on the south side was the worst section for us to go going home. Oh yeah, I have 2 inches of ice on my driveway still. Only an inch of snow, and then the ice. So came home. Barbara's still in the Jeep with me, and we come to my house first, and there's 16 inches or more of snow in my driveway. So I couldn't pull into the driveway, right? So this is Monday. And then, so I just came in the house to get my boots because my car was over at her house and I didn't know what to expect to get when we got there. So we drive over to her house and her son kind of snow plowed everything out of the driveway. And all I had was to clean off my car. So it wasn't too bad. And then I came over here and parked my car out on the street. And my oldest boy, he just got a new snowblower, so he came over with the snowblower, and he came over with my ex-wife. They came over, and she was helping him guide the way in and out in the driveway. Then she told me he's been working all day. He's pretty tired, so I told him go in my house and warm up, and then I'll finish the driveway. So it took me about an hour, a little over an hour, to get my driveway cleaned out of the snow with a snow blower. So it was still has a little snow base on it. I didn't get all the way down to the macadam, but a little bit, nothing major on it. So it's drivable and everything like that. My tractor could not break through the ice. Yeah, no, it's tough to break through ice. Um, it's not easy to get through ice. So I just put some rock salt down, and now it's patches here and there, stuff like that. So I shoveled out the front patio right outside my front door that had a lot of snow in there. The wind blew it all into there, and I shoveled that all out by hand. And then with the snow blower, it didn't take too much longer. So then I helped him put it on the truck, and that was good. So that was helpful because I would have been there for hours trying to shovel that driveway by hand. So that was pretty good. Yeah, well, Steve, but they don't get, well, they get some snow in West Virginia, but not a lot, I think. But you got a lot of mountains in West Virginia, so the higher elevations get snow. Yeah, places that don't get a lot of snow, they don't put money um, into snow removal, and when it snows and they don't have it, then a lot, it hurts. See, in New Jersey, we get snow every year, so they always allocate the funds and everything for snow removal and salt and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so it's so it was pretty good overall. Hey, Mike, welcome. Did you get home yet? Yeah, that's what's hard, and you probably can't get any into the stores either. So it's and I haven't seen the mailman in 3 days. There was no mail on Monday, was no mail on Tuesday, and no mail today. I haven't seen him out. Okay, Steve, I get you. Yeah. Well, yeah, the state does all the major highways, and then we have county that does the county roads, and then you have the local towns that do their local towns. Yeah, I have home Monday night. Good. Yeah, because I saw your video that you were stuck there at Amherst, and then yeah, so I continued my work on my coupler project, and been changing all the couplers out and everything like that. Because I talked to Katie at the train show for a while, and it wasn't. Now, Artie, I think, goes back in February sometime, Bob. He can tell you better than I can, but I think that's what I heard. Yeah, in 5 weeks. Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know what they're doing. Um, so it's strange how that happens. But anyway, Train Fest in November. Sounds good. So I got 2 of the trains completed, and I was running them today, and I had a couple of glitches, and I'm trying to fix the glitches as I go. Because what happens is I have to take the trucks off of the cars to get to the coupler box. So the coupler box, then I can take the coupler box apart and put the new coupler in. February 7th, he goes home. Yeah. So when I put the trucks back on, I may have tightened the screw on the truck a little too tight, and it doesn't move freely. So I got watch which car jumps the rails or something, and then have to check the wheels again. I'm using a KD 119s and KD 158s. They're interchangeable, and they're whisker couplers, and they have a shelf on them. It's going to be hard to see it. These are 119s. It's real small, but it has a little shelf on the bottom of the 119s. So, and then are the 158 scale couplers. 158s are scale head couplers. They're metal whisker couplers, and they are compatible with the 119, which is what's it say here? Metal SE shelf whisker coupler. The 119 is. So, but both of these are compatible. It even says here, coupler for standard mounting platforms. Coupler has the same dimensions as the 119, 148, and etc. So that's what I'm looking at. So, hey, Tammy and Ray, welcome. Let me see here. So can you keep the music down? That would be great. Thanks. What music? Oh, you know what? I got a noise going on in there. Devices. No, this routines. My routines. Okay. Hey, Randall, welcome. How's that sound, Artie? Portland uses salt. State uses fine gravel and de-icer. Yeah. Yeah, they all have their own little tricks, right? Russ? So that's what I've been doing. And like I say, to check them all takes time. So I keep hearing a chicken. Yeah, that's right. That's the sound card that I have for my chickens up there. Let me turn that off. There you go. No more chickens. Yeah. So that is a sound card that Jim Tedesco got. And then he sent me a link and I ordered the same one. And then I set it all up. And I got to add more sounds on it. It's just, it loops around. It keeps looping around. It's only like only a couple minutes worth of sound. So I'm going to try and make it longer so that it doesn't loop around too many times. So, but yeah, I had it turned off because I had somebody coming in here at night to take care of my dog. I didn't want them to go nuts with all the noise and everything that's going on. So I showed the business cards. So then at the show, I was telling Jim Tedesco I was going to see the guys at Iowa Scaled Systems there. And I got him his Motorman because they didn't have any on the website. So they had it there. So I bought it for him. Now just have to get it shipped down to him. But I don't have a box to put this in yet. I got to find a box to put it in so that I can ship it down to him. So then he'll be able to run his train back and forth and stuff like that. So it's a nice little tool. It works really well. It works DC or DCC mode if you don't know what a Motorman is. Heath from Humanity. He the one that showed us those things. That oh, I thought I had two here. Yeah, I got 3 packs of 25 pair couplers to do this whole project. I already went through 1 pack, and I just started a second one. So hope I have enough. Yeah, I have a farm scene on my lap. Yeah, a large one, matter of fact. If you want, I can show it to you. Let me remove this and then add the stage. And if I make this one bigger, if we go this way, and hold on, I'm going to change the color of the lights. Yeah, they're always out of stock. That's right. And when we were talking about it on Jim's show, he was talking about the motorman. So I went on and said, "Hey Jim, there's 3 of them." And then he was deciding to get it. And then, hey Dan, welcome. DMRJ. Hey Dan, how you doing? So then we looked, and he was ready to get it, and then it was out of stock. None of them. But then they must have took them out of stock to bring them to the train show to show people. So let me change the lights in that room. If I can. Okay. Now I think the camera with it blue will show it better. If we go over this way, this is where the farm starts. That's the farmhouse there. And that's where I have all my meet and greet people up there. And it's going to take a minute to focus in, but yeah, I have like 50 people up there now. No, that's not a cornfield, Steve. That's a wheat field. That's wheat. Okay. If we go back over this way, and I move the camera to the left. Okay. Right there, that's a combine for the wheat. Yeah. And that spins and it lights up. I turned it off because of all the noise. And so that's penned in. There's cattle and sheep and stuff in there. We go over here. Here's a corral for where when the train stops, they can unload and load. That's okay, Steve. You see, I'll go slower. And then you got the barn there. I got a windmill. That thing spins. Some big silos in the background back there, back here. Okay. And then the fence goes here. There's horses in there. Behind that container car, there's a tractor building for maintenance and stuff. Then when we start coming up to the cornfield and come around here, I'll let it get in focus. That's my cornfield, and it's on both sides of the track. Can't see it from there, but it's on both sides of the track. So the train tracks go right through the middle of the cornfield. And then it goes all the way down. As you keep going, to there. That's the end of the cornfield. Yep, crop duster, right. I'll go back to that. That box car there you see at the end, this gun here, that's what I got at the Amherst train show, the Pennsylvania Railroad, and I have a Fred on that. That's the last car of the train. That car there next to it, that CN car, I won that on one of Sparky's Christmas shows. So that's on the track now finally. Now we'll go over to the crop duster. And let's see if it'll focus in on the phone. You'll see it's spraying the cornfield. I just wish I could get the propeller to spin around, but I 3D printed that plane, and it's held up by hooks on the ceiling there. And then there's spray coming out of the wings, spraying the field. So that's the crop duster. Yeah, the noise you were hearing, the squealing, it wasn't music. It was actually that windmill motor. That motor, for some reason, after running a while, it starts making a real high-pitched sound. So what I do is I disconnect it for a day or so, and then I plug it back in, and then it runs again. So I don't know if I have to put some oil in that motor or something. I don't know. I gotta look at it. So it was. I just turned them back on for the first time since I got back from Amherst tonight, and just wanted to see how it worked and everything. Yeah, it spins. It spins. It took me 3 different motors to get it to go around a good speed. Because the first motor, it was going too fast. And the second motor was still going too fast. And I got one where you can actually see it spinning around and around. So, yep. So, how about a battery powered motor with remote relay for plane motor, Thomas? I don't know. Maybe once I get my trains running and everything, I might play around with getting the blade on that thing to go. See, the whole problem is that's a solid plane. When I 3D printed it, it's all one piece. And the only thing I had to put on was the propeller. So I'd have to probably reprint this with no infill or something like that. I don't know. So that's something to look into. Then I could put a motor inside there and trigger it. But that's, at least it's there. And then if we go, some of you guys didn't see this stuff. In this room here, I don't know if I can get to the ceiling. Let's see. Now that's as high as it goes. Okay, can't show you that. This one maybe. Just go. This is my 5th level going around. Let's see if we can see. There it is. That's that's my DirecTV satellite up there. I got Dish Network as another satellite. That's over on the other side of the room. And I got the internet thing. Yeah, there's yeah, I got 6 water pumps altogether. 4 up on the upper level and 2 down below. Pump number 1 is being worked on right now, but I changed the motors in these things a number of times too to get them to go real slow. Thomas, use a piece of clear plastic made into a circle to simulate a spinning prop on the plane. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying, Chris. Yeah, but I still need to get it to spin. So gotta get, yeah, Starlink. That's the one, Steve. Yeah, I got a Starlink satellite. Yeah. So thanks, Russ. Yeah, so that's what I've been working on. And these are the different things that I do. And as you can tell, I'm into a lot of automation. Like I could just have the pumps just sitting there and not doing anything, but I like to motorize them, so I put a motor in it, and it worked. So yeah, that's right, Dwight. Works out good, don't it? See, you guys aren't as lucky as I am. Where I live, you have options for internet service here. You have 2 or 3 different cable companies in the area. Okay. But I don't use cable companies for my internet service. There's an internet provider and they ran fiber to my house. So I got fiber internet service, and I'm a business customer on the internet service. So I have a static IP address. Everybody has an IP address. That's how you get out on your computer out to the internet. And do you have blinking lights on your high tension towers? No, Russ, I don't. I was thinking of doing that. I think I'm going to be redoing the wires on all the high tension lines. I did that on my power lines, all the telephone poles. I used to use black thread, a real thin black thread. And that's really, when you super glue it from one pole to the other, it's tight, right? Well, what I replaced that with was stretchy string, which I got at Amazon. And it wasn't expensive. I got 330-yard roll, and I needed 2 rolls to do all my telephone poles. And then all the wires to the houses, I use stretchy. Right. My only choices in my new place was Starlink and HughesNet. Yeah. See, depends on where you live. So I had the option, and I went with an internet provider, and I now have my internet service. And then for TV, I just use YouTube TV as I'm subscribed to YouTube TV, and I get to watch what I like to watch, and that's it. So I don't need to subscribe to all those other stupid things that are out there. And so Artie's going. Okay, Artie. Sorry, nodding off here. Been a long 2 days. Take care. Okay, Artie, have a good one. We'll catch you later. So so that's what I did. So the towers, transmission lines, they're thicker wire than what you see on your poles to the to the lower poles and everything. So I'm thinking about getting a thicker diameter stretchy string for them and replacing all of them, because what happens is when I go up there and reach over to do something on the other side of the power lines or whatever, it knocks over the towers, because the towers are only pressed into the pads down below, because I wanted to be able to move them if I had ever had to work on that area. Right? I don't want to glue them to those pads. So I'm thinking about doing that later, because that's why I did the lower telephone poles, because as I was working down the lower at the level of the layout, I would have to move a house or something, and it was real tight, and it was with a stretchy string. I can move it and I can push it down, and then it bounces right back up. If I did that on the thread, it would snap the arms on the telephone poles. So that's why I use the stretchy string. So if anybody's going to put wire on their telephone poles or whatever they want to do that, get stretchy string. It's the best thing out there. It's not very expensive either. So so it worked out really nice. I like it. And even the houses and stuff, I can move them and even go around the corner, because it's the stuff stretches. The other stuff was just a pain in the neck to work with. So I had to cut it all off, and then I just put the stretchy string on the telephone poles, and then ran it to the buildings and to the houses where their meter boxes are and everything like that. So that's what that's all about. So and so I mean, it all works. And then for you guys that never seen it before, but that's my helix right there. All the cars you see on the helix right now, those are ones that I got done changing the couplers, new wheels, the bushing that DB Tech got. Okay, Bob, thanks a lot for stopping in. Have a good one. Yeah, you got a to-do list. Yeah, I know what they're like. Have a good one. We'll catch you later. So they're all slated to be moved into the sidings or wherever they're supposed to go. Oh, Dave Knit. That's Dave. Oh, okay. You in here twice, Dave? I saw you come in as Stormy, and now you're in as Dave. Okay. I thought I missed you. So that's what I got to do, is some operation work, and bring the engine in and pull them into their locations and stuff, and stuff like that. So that's why I have them staged on the helix, so I can pull them in to the yard or pull them into the silos or stuff like that. I just changed users. Yay. Yeah. So it's just a lot of fun. But I mean, each car that you change the coupler on it's an adventure because you don't have when I put the couplers on originally, I bent all the couplers, so the wheels need to be washers put in between the truck and the body, so it lifts the body up for the body mount couplers, which that's what I have. That's all I have is body mount couplers on all my cars, and even the 3D printed one. Oh. Yeah. So um, it it allows me to maneuver things around and a lot. Okay, Barbara. Catch you later. Thanks for stopping in. So it's an adventure because, like I say, sometimes the trucks are flat, and then sometimes they have a little I don't know what you call it, but it slips on top of the screw hole, and then the screw goes into the screw hole, and kind of like keeps it in place so it doesn't slide all over the place, when you put it on the body. So, but when that happens, it goes way down in, and then that makes the body lower to the track. So sometimes I even have to change the trucks on a car. Like I had 4 box cars, and that situation occurred, and I couldn't put a washer in there to lift up the wheel, lift up the body, if you will, from the truck. So I couldn't put washers on there. So I had to change the truck. So I 3D printed some trucks. I painted them, put the wheels in them, and then I could stick washers on that truck, and boom. Then now the coupler is elevated to the right height, and um, with the KD coupler tool. You guys seen this, so that's what I use. And then I also use a piece of plaque card. It's this is number, I don't know, it's a little thicker, and then I lay that on the track, and then I run the car on top of it, and if the coupler doesn't hit it, then I'm good. Because if this is laying on top of the track, it's not, the coupler doesn't, sometimes the coupler pushes this, then I got to elevate it. But if it slides over top, then it's not going to hit anything. It's not going to hit any of the turnout pieces or magnets that I might have in the track or anything like that. So that's what I'm going. That's what I've been doing. So, and I'm continuing to work on the trains. I brought another train that's behind me up here on this box here. It's a shorter train, but I'm changing all the couplers on that because these couplers are all, the boxes all have a screw on them. That makes it so much easier if you screw the box to onto the body instead of gluing it onto the body. Katie guy told me don't ever use glue on your coupler boxes. If you want to change them later or whatever reason, they'll all break apart. So you wasted money making using coupler boxes. So don't use glue. If you can screw them onto the body, that's the proper way to do it. So I have a whole bin of screw sizes, and they're let's see, M2s. They're M2s. No, not 256s. You use 256 screws. Yeah, I use M2, 6, 8, or 10, depending on how many washers I need. It's still an M2, real thin, and the M26 I use to screw the coupler boxes to the model. The M2 8 and 10 are for my trucks. I screw the trucks on to the body with the M2 8s or the M2 10s. This has also in it M3s, which are bigger, M3s, M4s. So these are all self-tapping screws. So, and I have a ton of 256 screws. Some of them I use in the cars that have metal threads for the truck to go into. Then if I need a longer 256 screw, I use them because I have to put washers on it. That you need a longer screw if you got washers, you know. So, and with that bushing that Dave, DB Tech Dave told me about and gave me a file for it, that makes the trucks screw together a lot better. And I don't need washers on the screws anymore because when we 3D print our trucks, we have a bigger hole in it and the screws are too small and they fall right through. And I was putting a washer on there, which is a pain in the neck. So the bushing works better because it goes inside the hole and it has a bigger lip around the outside. And it's like a washer type of thing with the thing on there. And then I put the screw through there and tighten it up and it's good to go. So they're working out a lot better. So, but that's that. So, so like I say, if anybody needs any of the information on those business cards that I told you about earlier, don't hesitate to email me. Be glad to let you know if you're interested in that stuff. And we can go from there. And let's see how it is. So I just want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. Appreciate you all. Hope everybody stays warm. And let's hope that springtime is just around the corner. I guess we'll know in a couple of days if the groundhog sees his shadow or not. And hopefully the activists don't get upset because the groundhog is coming out to tell us what the weather is going to be. All right. Thanks a lot, John. Appreciate it. Everybody have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your week. Don't forget to catch Jim Tedesco tomorrow night at 6 o'clock on his show. Yeah, I hope so too, Ronald. Yep. And we'll see you all later. Everybody have a great night and take care. Thanks for stopping in.